And a massive drop into the main base. Oh my god, he gets absolutely everything in here. And Grubby is way out of position. That Nexus can fall and he can pick up and even get out. Oh my god, Grubby's about to take a massive hit. If that does fall, and it does.
Right now. Hydra's is Moonglade. Oh, great fungal onto the Mutas, and that's exactly.
Hello and welcome to the Our StarCraft tournament preview for the MLG Winter Championships for StarCraft 2. The Winter Championships will be the second major LAN tournament featuring the brand spanking new expansion, Heart of the Swarm. MLG's major changes in the format structure has left us with an extremely balanced mixture of players, 11 Protoss, 10 Terrans and 10 Zergs. The new format of the Winter Season Showdowns also created a huge dispersion of country representation, featuring players from all corners of the world. I am Shivy, you may have seen me with the name _Ventus on Reddit, and here is your preview of the round of 32. Minigun comes into the tournament looking very hot after taking a convincing 3-0 to win over EG's Hydra in the Winter Season Showdowns. But the expression of out of the frying pan and into the fire could not be more appropriate, as he is to face the 16-year-old Zerg monstrosity from South Korea, Startail Life. Minigun may have scored himself a free trip to Dallas by taking out one Zerg, but the two-time GSL champion will be quite the hurdle if he wants to make it to the round of 16. When you think of relatable Koreans, three come to mind: Violet, MC, and Polt. Currently studying in the United States and practicing exclusively Heart of the Swarm prior to the event, knocking Seed out of the Good Studio King of the Hill 2-0 and Team Liquid's Hero 3-0 in the Winter Season Showdowns, Polt is looking like an unstoppable force coming into this tournament. But Creator Prime is the Blizzard World Champion runner-up. He is known for having some of the best timings in the world, and players such as Naniwa view Creator as one of the absolute best Protossers to study. Polt may be an unstoppable force, but Creator might just be the immovable object that can take Polt out of the tournament straight away. This will be a series to remember. Stefano vs Last may be one of the matchups where you think, oh, Stefano has an easy win to the round of 16. With Stefano's ultra-reactive style of play and incredibly accurate and concise decision making, you wouldn't be a stupid person to say that. But Last is not someone that will go down easily. Last took out Sulky 3-1 in the Winter Season Showdowns, probably primarily because Sulky was still practicing Wings of Liberty for the GSL, but Last also has known that he has Stefano for the first round for MLG for weeks now, and with a Kessler player, this amount of time could spell doom for Stefano. The last and most important reason that Last could take out this series is that Innovation, Last's teammate from STX Seoul, theory-crafted builds specifically for Stefano for the GSL round of 16, which played into Stefano's weaknesses, and I'm 100% certain that they have been thinking of ways for Last to take him down this time in this new expansion. The top 4 on a hope is actually in potentially his worst matchup first up in the tournament. Will he make it through? Tune in this weekend to find out. Thorzane and Killer are two tip-top foreigners. Thorzane's time in Korea will finally be able to be shown off at this MLG. Despite being the Pro League MVP for the first round, Thorzane didn't show his best games in the Pro League, and has been seen practicing Heart of the Swarm a lot on stream, even when Wings of Liberty was still being played. Thorzane's mechanical style will definitely have been amplified by his time in Korea, and he will be a tough opponent for Killer to take down. Killer is a relatively unknown player. He participated in the WCS, where he was able to take out Huck 2-0, Grubby 2-1, and Titan 3-0, before being eliminated by Rain 3-0 in the quarterfinals. And also, he has defeated QXC 3-0 to qualify for Dallas. Despite Killer's ZVT looking on point, the Spoon Terran is hard to tip against, especially with a lot of Korean experience under his belt. MC showed a fairly poor performance at IEM for the Boss Tosser standards. His presence in the later rounds of the final Wings of Liberty GSL have seemingly hurt his preparation time for Heart of the Swarm, and therefore tipping MC in this matchup is quite the hard one. Hero, on the other hand, has shown some really cool play throughout Pro League, but going 3-2 in the Winter Season Showdowns against Roro, a player that was definitely still playing a ton of Wings of Liberty as he just took home the last Wings of Liberty GSL Championship, is not as strong of a victory as it may seem when you delve deeper into the matchup. PvP is also reputed as being one of the most different matchups compared to Wings of Liberty, and will require some innovation from both players. MC comes off a poor showing at IEM to be faced up against a fresh, prepared Kesper adversary in a best of 5 PvP. Good luck, have fun, this is gonna be a bumpy ride. Belgium fans probably all had the same "oh shit" moment when this matchup was announced. MVP, the only 4-time GSL champion, a BlizzCon title holder, an MLG champion, a WCG champion, and an IEM champion, paired up against an up-and-coming European Protoss, who originally lost her at 3-1, but was given a second chance to qualify when Demaga couldn't attend the tournament. He took out Snoot, Mana, and Grubby, each in a best of 1, whereas MVP, who went 5-0 in his IEM group, and 3-0ing the Polish Protoss Mana in Mana's best matchup PvT in the quarterfinals. MVP's TVP is looking on point in Heart of the Swarm. Feast comes into the tournament as a mosquito, tiny but with the potential to bite you in a really hard to itch place, whereas MVP comes in as a lion, fierce and hungry for another MLG title. Tasia comes into an all Heart of the Swarm tournament with considerably less experience, but so does Sase, who has been practicing Wings of Liberty for the Taiwanese Esports League. Travel and jet lag is also a factor with both of these players, flying from one side of the world to the other. With both these players having only dipped their toes into Heart of the Swarm, this looks like it could be an extremely close matchup. But Tasia did take out Violet in his showdown match to qualify. This is the same Violet who went 5-0 in his IEM group. Tasia still looks red hot, despite being in a very similar situation to Sase going into this tournament. The Lean Octopus returns to Dallas after securing a seed by placing second in the Fall Championships last November. Leanock hopes to take his second MLG title this time around, narrowly losing to Life 3-4 in the Fall Championships. In Heart of the Swarm, Leanock has been somewhat of an enigma, only playing one televised match so far, and it was in the GSTL preseason against Violet, which he lost, which gives Baby Knight not many replays to look over. Baby Knight, however, played a PBZ against Nurture, which he took a convincing 3-1 against the Polish Zerg. Leanock on his own is an extremely hard opponent to face in an MLG style tournament, but paired with the fact that he can study Baby Knight's PvZ going into the match and possibly prepare some builds especially for him, cuts Baby Knight's slim chances even slimmer. While times look tough for Baby Knight, he is easily one of the most underrated foreign players there is, and an opportunity against Leanock is a chance for him to further establish a name for himself as a foreign force like Stefano, Naniwa and Scarlet, a foreigner to be feared. Ghost User has been one of the best performing foreigners in the later stages of Wings of Liberty, taking out MMA, Genius, MVP, and going 2-3 against Startail Life in the Iron Squid Chapter 2, the eventual champion. Ghost User's play has been pretty brilliant coming into Heart of the Swarm, but in the Winter Season Showdowns he went 3-2 against Caliber, an up-and-coming American Protoss player, who had only been practicing on Heart of the Swarm for a couple of days before the event due to being part of the Berkeley CSL team. Ghost User's play will have to be more refined and consistent as he comes up against Bomber, one of StarTale's most deadly players, and an insanely talented macro terran. Bomber was extremely confident playing as StarTale's ace in the GSTL preseason, but narrowly lost to Azubu's Genius. Bomber hasn't played a televised Heart of the Swarm match since he was already qualified for Dallas for his performance at Providence last year, and comes into this matchup all guns blazing in a prime position to advance to the round of 16. Oh, Bly. After he 3-1 to Mouth Sports' Mana, he didn't want to come into the tournament facing Flash in the first round. The only thing looking positive for Bly is that Flash has been playing Wings of Liberty for Pro League and GSL, making appearances in KT Rolster's lineup for every match in the round 3 of Pro League, and he also spanked Rain back into the up and downs as he made his advancement into Codas for the GSL. But this is the expansion where multitasking and mechanics is meant to be the name of the game. And this is the ultimate weapon, the best StarCraft Brood War pro gamer there ever was. His sheer mechanical prowess and copious amounts of experience make Flash Bly's Everest coming into Dallas, and will set for Bly one of the toughest challenges he is likely to face in his entire career. Eliminate Flash and you have an R-StarCraft top front page post. Lose and you fall out of Dallas and back into the sea of pro gamers trying to establish their own legacy. Suppy, Berkeley's hero, the player to take home the ace match in the recent CSL Grand Finals, comes into MLG faced up against one of Europeans' top Zergs. This will be the only Team Liquid vs Evil Genius matchup in the round of 32, and it is set to be an absolute blast. Red is coming into MLG off a fiery IEM performance, showing that his Heart of the Swarm play is optimal and among the best in the world, finishing 4-1 in IEM groups, and then defeating Sting 3-1 in the round of 12. Red comes into this tournament with outstanding ZVP and ZVT performances, but will he be able to hold it in the ZVZ against one of North America's best players? Tune in this weekend to see another chapter of the EGTL rivalry unfold. Vibe, the WCS American runner-up, unable to make a satisfying performance in the World Championships last year, steps into the Heart of the Swarm with a lot to prove. Qualifying with a tight victory over Mouse Sports Illusion 3-2, Vibe better be prepared for the Taiwanese powerhouse that is Sen. Sen qualified also with a 3-2 score against the much-loved Moonglade in the ZVZ, and earns a lucky spot in the Dallas bracket where he is paired up against a foreigner and not a Kesper or ESF Korean. Sen's enormous amount of stage experience gives him the slight edge over Root Gaming's Vibe, but this matchup could be one of the closest of the weekend, and is definitely going to give us some good games. State comes into Dallas after taking a convincing 3-1 over the elusive LGIM Phoenix, and has an unlucky draw, being paired up against the Soul Train from SK Telecom, Parting. The only thing that gives State a slight advantage is that he has 5 games that have been televised of Parting's HOTS PvP, 3 against Yonghua and 2 against Haziorbs. If State manages to devise a build that will exploit the stylistic choices of Parting and capitalize on the fact that Parting will be playing a ladder style build, as he has never had the need to study State or play State, he may have a chance at taking the best of 5, but it's a slim hope, even for a PvP. State is likely to get mowed down by the conductor of the Soul Train, but it will also give the young North American player a serious opportunity to test his mettle against one of the best players in the world. Oh boy, Jakji in a foreign tournament, this will be interesting. Jakji is a forgotten Terran. Once when Lenok was looking like StarTale life-like unstoppable. Coming off an MLG victory, Jakji snatched the Codes trophy from his hand in one of the most unexpected series of Wings of Liberty to ever be played. The GSL champion lay dormant for months after, fading into Code B, but now he's back. Taking a 3-2 victory over the final boss, Dongregu, he has qualified for Dallas and scored his first appearance at a foreign event. And even though it might not look like a blessing, scoring a first round match versus Marine King might play exactly into Jakji's strengths. Jakji defeated Lenok by exploiting his ultra-aggressive style. Hiding an expansion on Tal'Darim behind the minerals was one of the most clever and innovative things we have ever witnessed in a GSL Finals. And Marine King is a player that has a lot of stylistic quirks. He is known as an extremely greedy player, he is known as a micro-based player, and he is known to be extremely deadly if you let him have his own way with the game. Jakji has 4 replays to study. Marine King defeated Gumiho 3-1 to get into Dallas, and this could very well be a huge first round upset. Jakji is a smart player, and he has the potential to eliminate a huge fan favourite in the round of 32. Make sure you do not miss this match. Seed vs Rain is a matchup that is bound to be insane. Seed is a player who is known to be extremely creative and extremely smart, and Rain is a very similar player in that regard, and both are among the most deadly Protoss players in the world when given a new game to play around with. Let's talk about pros and cons. For Seed, firstly, he has 5 replays of Rain playing Heart of the Swarm PvP, which were the games he played versus Flying to qualify, and he has Squirtle to Theorycraft to builds with, who is now on LGIM. And he is easily one of the most smart Protoss players on the planet. Cons, he is missing Yonghua, First, and MC as his practice buddies, as they are travelling from Cologne and to MLG. But for Rain, the pros are running dry. Apart from the Kesper House advantage, he has no real PvP replays to study, and will have to come up with some good builds after getting some inspiration from IEM. Coming into the matchup, Seed has an advantage, but Rain's all-around badassery, being the OSL champion and the 3rd place at the Battle.net World Championships, makes Rain a hard man to bet against. Whatever happens, this is guaranteed to be a wild and wacky series, with both players being so adept at developing new strategies. Be sure to check this one out. Innovation comes into MLG with an unexpected loss to the GSL finalist Zubu Symbol, giving him ample time to prepare for his match against Huck. Despite almost being cursed into becoming the new Clyde by Atosis, Innovation comes into this matchup the clear favourite, as his games against both Stefano and Symbol demonstrated some of the best multitasking and best macro play we have seen in Wings of Liberty by a Terran player. Heart of the Swarm could be Innovation's new stomping ground, with the new medevac speed boost playing directly into his style. Huck comes into MLG looking strong, however. The 3-0ing Sasquatch in the winter season showdowns to qualify, and being at the EG lair in Arizona prior to Dallas, Huck will have the advantage of no jet lag coming into the series, but he will have to pull some outstanding play off to take out Innovation and proceed to the round of 16.